Welcome to Igniting Inspired Insight, a space for real conversations with beautiful humans. I'm your host, Jae, a teacher, guide, and student of expanding and empowering energy, exploring and living with love. In each short episode, we explore 3 questions that open the door to reflection, resonance, and revelation. One question I ask every guest, one they won't expect, and one they get to ask me and maybe even answer themselves. This is a space for truth, trust, and the kind of insight that comes from simply being human. Let's begin. I'm so excited. Today, I have a dear friend who is now currently in Wanaka based. And I met you in Hawaii. She is a weaver of many magics, and I have been honored to work kind of alongside her in some ways, as well as receive, which has been incredible. Just such a powerful wahine, and I'm honored for her to be here. So I'd like to introduce Lee and to hand it over to you for just a moment and share with us, with those who are listening, who's Lee?
Oh, that's such a beautiful and powerful question that I feel I've been in contemplation of for such a long time. And so today, in this space and time, the answer that I can give is on a 3D level. I'm a mama. I am an expression of love and compassion. I am a safe space. I am a space to support, guide, facilitate healing. I'm a bringer of light, and I'm also a focal point to help you see that within yourself. I'm a messenger of hope and peace and a permission slip is what's coming to mind. A permission slip to allow you to be the fullest expression of yourself.
Amen.
Thank you.
I didn't just hear that, I could feel that. That's
I
why
didn't
love
know
you.
that was what was going to come through. It's funny.
That is what we are here for.
So I love that. And like, I also just want to reflect that for you as well. Like, it's just that beautiful mirror. So you also stand for that. And I just I'm incredibly humbled that you've asked me to be here with you. So thank you. Thank you.
Divine
thank you,
reflection.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm so excited to see where this goes. So we start with the common thread, which is one question I ask everyone. What's one belief, moment, or experience that changed the way you see the world? And I know that a lot of us are like, there's so many. So which one comes to heart for you today that you want to share?
Yeah. So, it's interesting because there was a little bit of resistance that came up, but I was shown the exact moment just then. And so, yeah, now's the time. And like, this is actually probably the first time that I've acknowledged it in a public space. So I'm actually excited to really share this. And so this moment was almost 3 years ago, where I could feel it's kind of maybe a mirror of where I'm at the moment, because there's this bifurcation of where I'm going. And 3 years ago, I was in that same space of, do I continue in the same path that I was on of being a traditional physiotherapist, running a clinic, living in Sydney, doing the same thing that I was doing? Or do I now step into a path that I did not see was coming? And at the time, to be specific, it was all around acknowledging the unseen, the spiritual realm, the parts of me that I didn't know existed, and also, yeah, it was just a really scary road, like fork in the road. I couldn't see where I was going, and so I asked Spirit. I remember quite clearly there was this moment where I asked Spirit, "You need to give me proof. You need to give me proof beyond reasonable doubt, beyond the point that I can rationalize within my head, because I'm really good at that. So I need evidence to support the path that I'm going on, because I just could not see the road forward, and I really needed that. I couldn't just trust. And one time I was up with my 4-year-old at the time, and he was brushing his teeth, and I was supervising him. And all of a sudden, I what I thought I saw was his dad standing at the vanity. Sorry, next to the door, in front of the door. And he was at the vanity. My son was at the vanity. And he looks up at me, and he says to me, "Who is that?" And I turned around, looked at the door. Who I thought was Steve was no longer there. He was gone. And like, I had this deep knowing that it was a spirit. And it's funny now, I think about like all the things that I responded to my son, but I just had this deep knowing. I already knew it was a spirit, but my brain was still trying to catch up with a series of events that happened. And I asked my son like what he saw, and he just started explaining, like, there's a black figure, and he was just talking about the eyes. He could just see the eyes, and all of a sudden he's panicking, and I could feel his fear, and I was like desperately trying to protect him from tapping into that. Meanwhile, I'm irrationally running around the house looking for somebody, and I yell out to my husband, and he's downstairs. There's just like no way that could have all happened. It felt like a split second, but also time just stood still. um and as soon as I accepted, like, we both saw what we saw, that was the proof. And then from there, like, things just started happening, and I surrendered. And yeah, all of these, I want to say, miracles started happening for us to set us on this trajectory and where we find ourselves living in New Zealand today. Yeah.
So beautiful. Wow. What a story. What a moment of impact.
It's yeah, it's surreal when I tell that story, because it feels like it was so long ago, and like, I that could have easily been not enough proof as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. However, it was just enough for what you were looking for, right?
Yeah, it
And
was
that's,
perfect.
yeah. It's so incredible. It also goes to show like our human reaction to something like that, and how we try to make it logical. And even though we're looking for that sign, and we're looking for it in a divine way, we know that it's not going to be a piece of paper with the permission slip. But we get that, and we're still, the human reaction is like, so. But what I also heard is that despite the human reaction, you came to the gift of what it was for you.
Yeah, it took me a while. Um, it yeah, it just completely shifted my perspective on life. I would probably say I'd consider myself spiritually curious at that time. I
Mm-hmm.
was open, but I just kind of was like, I was on the fence. But that blew the doors open. Like, that was undeniable proof, and that gave me the permission to start unlearning,
Mm-hmm.
unlearning all the things, that all the beliefs that I had up until that point. And it's still a process that I feel is happening for me, because that what society has taught us, um also like religious, my family's very religious, like they're very Catholic. So there's all of these layers, and again, my physio brain,
Mm-hmm.
all these years of training is just like, I'm still finding, I'm undoing that. So sometimes I have to remind myself of that moment,
Mm-hmm.
because it was such a pivotal point that I I don't need proof for everything, um, because I've got that moment. And my
Yeah.
son still talks about that time.
So that's a moment of impact for him too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes I feel it can be a little bit detrimental for him, because I feel like he's actually quite energetically sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's a part of, Mama Bear wants to come out and protect him from,
Mm-hmm.
as much pain as I can. But also just coming back to trusting that, that's part of his journey, that moment of impact was also required for him in a way
Yeah.
that I can't fully understand right now, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, just watching to see how it unfolds and how I can support him as his mama. So, yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. It'll be something, because he's young. It will be unfolding for quite some time. I mean, as far as we can assume. But what I also heard for you is that was a moment of impact. You asked for some proof, some evidence, and you got that. But I also hear that you got that in a way of, you chose to see it for what it was, and then surrender.
Mm.
And I really felt
Ooh,
that,
that was
because
hard.
again, our logical need the proof, need the permission slip, need the, like, I need you to, like, show me it all written down on paper. That
Hmm.
part of us cannot process an experience like that and then step. I think of what I say to myself often is, I move from my will to thy will. I step out of the way, like removing the humanness or the
Hmm.
human reaction, expectation, assumption, and just being in full surrender of what this is here for.
Yeah, I think at that time I was ready to get off the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And I I'm so proud of myself. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that my older self, um, was able to see it for what it was, and
Mm-hmm.
she got out of her way. So
Yes.
I'm so grateful for her. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm also really grateful for her curiosity and her courage for taking that step,
Mm-hmm.
because it was terrifying. It was terrifying to really, like, step onto that road and
Yeah.
walk that path, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that piece too, because I think that a lot of people, maybe if they're already following you or know your work, or can be the same with me, because it's reflected back to me, they don't really quite understand the level of courage and curiosity and surrender that is required to get where we are.
Mm.
Because they see us in our power and our message, and it's easy for the human brain to be like, oh, it's easy for them.
Mm.
Nah.
100%. They didn't see me on the floor, like in a fetal position. I didn't get to record those moments to
No,
journal
and a
about
lot of
that.
people don't understand
Yeah.
that is, those also are the necessary parts of getting to where we are, is that
Mm.
darkness and that surrender and that discomfort on an unreal level,
Yeah.
to
And they
fall, to let the things fall away that need to.
and it is that constant trust, and just like the theme that I've been exploring today with a lot of my clients has been around trusting ourselves.
Mhm.
Trusting ourselves that it's fallen onto our path because we have the capacity. to move through it.
Yeah.
Like it is ours because
Mm-hmm.
it is ours to deal to. So yeah, I just, and it's a constant reminder, like new levels, new devils, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
always these lessons will show up from a different shade of gray.
Yes. Yes.
It's just never ending. And I love it. Sometimes I laugh and I'm like, I must be a sadist because like I'm just like, here we go into the pain again. And I
Mm-hmm.
love it because there's this part of me that knows like the more discomfort that I experience through this transition, I can feel the gold on the other side. Like I just know
Mm-hmm.
if I allow myself to move through this, and it doesn't need to look as graceful as the last time. It doesn't need to look as easy, doesn't need to feel as easy. Like if I just like give myself permission, I know what's waiting for me, and it's that expansion, it's that like joy, it's that love, it's that, yeah, it's that, just that next step, it's that
Mm-hmm.
clarity that I've been waiting for. um and like you kind of alluded to before, it's like acting from a place of like not knowing. That's actually
Mm-hmm.
where the power is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. That vulnerability. Hey,
Mm.
I love that you just spoke to that because I feel it too. I think the more that we do the work, and I mean for ourselves, the more we know when we're in those incredibly challenging points that we know that there's light on the other side. And that,
Mm.
to me, I don't know about you, but that's what gets me through. Like I now lean into the darkness in a whole nother way because I know that A,
Yeah.
it's meant. It's not here because I did something wrong. It's here because something needs to be cleared. And it's also the level, like the devil. I've never heard that actually, new level, new devil, but it's 100%. But that's what it is. It's like, oh, you're rising, you need this to
Mm.
work through. And it's not
Mhm.
like everything has to be hard, but I believe that that's what is required for a new place of expansion.
Yes.
So good.
So good.
Oh, I love it. Hi. So beautiful. Already so grateful for what we've talked about.
Oh.
Here we get to go into second segment, which is in the moment, which means that Lee doesn't know what I'm about to ask her. And this question for you, my love, what is one song or scent that brings you home to yourself?
Mm. The first thing that came up was the scent of rose. Like, oh, it's funny because I've been working with rose today. Um, and roses, like I wore a rose perfume on my wedding day, and it's just something, just is like the essence and the frequency of divine love. I, I don't know what else to, like,
Mm-hmm.
it just is. It's just home. It just is. I feel I use rose when I just really want to gift myself some epic deliciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got this like rose oil that was gifted to me by a client, and when I want to give myself that extra pamper, I use it, and it, like, there's this level of deep love and gratitude that comes through when I work with rose. So, yeah, rose.
Mm, yum. Thank you so much for that reminder. I love it. I feel that too. For you, I don't know about you, but rose reminds me of, like, it feels like a grandmother medicine.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
And
Yeah.
it also reminds me of my nana, but it's not just because of that. It just feels like this ancient
Mm,
nurturing.
yeah. It's so grounding,
Mm-hmm.
yet light. And I think like working with plants has only really been something that I've been doing quite recently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like working with rose, it's one of those special moment things for me. I don't know why. It's um and it is kind of like the grandmother energy where it's like, if you saw Nana every single week, like there's something different about only getting to spend time with her once a month. It
Mm-hmm.
just feels so much more special.
Mm-hmm.
There's something around that. Like
Yes.
we just don't take it for granted. And like for her working with Rose, yeah, I just don't. Like there is always this it's such a ritual and such a gift that I feel I get to punctuate my day or my week with with being in the presence. And it's just intention as well. Like I know by me creating intention with Rose in that way, there is an intention, there is, yeah, something so potent about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like everyone's going to have a different relationship with Rose. And it's totally fine if it's something that you use on a daily basis. It's just like for me, um, yeah, I reserve it for these special moments. So I know it's like my system is really receiving something potent. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm so glad that you were guided to the rose, because that means that that's what we got to talk about.
Oh,
Thanks, universe.
I'm
So
curious
good.
with what's going to come up now.
Yeah, I know. I know. So here, actually, so here we are. Question 3, segment 3 is called Reflected Light. So Lee gets to ask me a question and potentially answer it herself. Over to you, my dear.
It's funny because I've been thinking about a question for you, but this one just keeps coming up. So I'm
It's meant to be.
curious. Yeah. Who is Jae?
Oof.
Right?
Who is Jae? A multi-dimensional being from many realms. And also, just a human trying to do her very best. And yeah, honestly, just trying to do right by me and by all who I am so incredibly grateful to have in my life. And not with this is why I say this, but not with a need to prove. That was my 20s, but with like a real honor for the life that I've been given and wanting to make the very best that I can with it, in terms of for myself and for the impact, the feeling that I leave others with. And actually, that makes me think of something that I learned at one of my very first jobs, which no shit was at McDonald's when I was 14.
KFC
But
girl here.
yeah, yeah, I had this crazy cool boss. She was out there, man, but she was good for me. And what she always used to say was always leave a profit. Always leave a profit. And what she meant was, and this is what a lot of people say, is leave it better than you found it. And I didn't just take that on as a skill. Like that became a really beautiful value for me in everything I do. And no matter where I am, can I leave the place or the person or the animal better than I found it? Can I layer on the love and let that reflect back to me, but not with a need for reciprocity, just an understanding of that reciprocity, like in how what we get, what we put in.
Amen.
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 So there's that. And I think swinging back to the humanness, I think I want to share, like, I think I reflected to this in the first question, but I don't know that when we have like the work we do and the social media potential presence that we do, that people understand that we're still human and that the challenges are fucking real. And that we are on this constant evolution of ups and downs. And yeah, right. Sometimes you don't see the downs because not because I'm afraid of it or ashamed of it, just because I'm in it. So being in the honesty and the integrity and the vulnerability of that, and wanting actually people to see that And really, actually, right now, Who is Jae is leaning into the true gift we give others is letting yourself lean on them, not being the one they can lean on. However, I'm really good at that. But like understanding that the real connection is when the leaning is a two-way street, man.
Yeah.
And the
Definitely.
power of community, conversation, and play.
Oof.
That's the medicine right there.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Yes. So I guess that's what I would describe, because that's rather than, I guess, who is Jae, but that's what Jae's focused on.
Yeah, and I think you know, and just such a beautiful answer. And I think when that question comes up, it's that thing of like, it's going to change. Like we're constantly moving, we're constantly evolving and shifting. Oh, I'm already a different Lee right now, just from this conversation. Like the state that we're in is so constant. It's sorry, constantly shifting. It never is the same. So I think that's something that not many people think of. They, when we're living our lives, we have this perception that we're this fixed person, but actually, I don't believe that is true.
Nor is life linear.
No, not at all.
No way, shape, or form. And that expectation in itself is like, it's elusive. So having me answer that and knowing that this is where we started the podcast, is there anything else that you want to share in and around, like, who is a Lee?
Yeah, I love your point on like being a human. I think we can get caught up, especially like, now this work that I do and being able to access different dimensions and different frequencies and energies. We can get caught up in that. We can get caught up. A common question for me is like, oh, someone coming through is my Nana? Does she have a, message for me, or Uncle Joe or whatever? And it's like, oh, as much as I love bringing that information through, it could be a bit of a diversion for us. Like, I think if we can just remain to be grounded in being human and reminding ourselves that, we're, souls experiencing a human existence, like, and to come back to that and to not skirt away from experiencing the pain, because then we skirt away from experiencing the potential joy and love. Then that's like, I feel like that's the point of why we're here. And not that I have an answer to, why we are here anyway, but like, to me, just doing my best definitely is, something that I want to keep reminding myself at the, that's what I'm doing is we are all just trying to do our best. We're all humans doing our best. And some of us accidentally hurt people. And, that's just going to open up another can of worms, when it comes to ancestral trauma and all of that sort of stuff. But,
next podcast.
That's right. But the reality is, like, I would argue every single human out there is just trying to do their best.
Yep.
We were just given different tools and resources,
circumstances and experiences.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just trying to live our lives the best that we can, and live from the heart, and that may not always be accessible for some as it is for others. But
yeah. Amen.
Yes.
So beautiful. Well, to follow on from that and to kind of bring us to a close for today, is I wanted to ask those who are listening and really resonate and connect with you, how do they find you? How do they work with you?
Oh, So Instagram is probably the platform that I am the most active on. So my handle is at the Lee Duncan. Yeah, so that's the best place they can reach me. If you're in Wanaka, I do events from time to time. So yeah, reach out. My clinic is Intuitive Wellness. So the handle for that on Instagram is at intuitivewellness.nz. So
Yes, I'll share those in the show notes too.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Generous
new
of you.
clinic. I can't wait to see it.
Yes. Well,
So excited.
make sure you come over.
Yeah, I will. I am. After this convo, I'm definitely doing that.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and I'll link people to you in the show notes. And I just really wanted to thank you so much for being here with us and to share your light. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sister.
So for those of you who are with us and listening, take a breath. Let what you heard settle in. These insights aren't just stories, they're invitations. And they may lead to some contemplation in terms of journaling or a conversation with another, which could be just profound. And until next time, may you walk with awareness, speak with truth, and live with what lights you up. Mwah! So much love. Thank you, Lee.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you.